Apple, the tech giant that we love, know and love, is launching a new app in partnership with Goldman Sachs here, according to BusinessInsider.com. So they're teaming up so that they can offer a better service, a faster service that makes sense for Apple, the company. Now, obviously, Apple is known for selling smartphone devices that caters to their key customers in their ecosystem, selling smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, laptops, and even desktops and whatnots, right? The goal here, I'm assuming, is so that to make it easier for you to purchase. Now, obviously, not as their as their products continue to rise, becoming more expensive, and obviously they've thought of this carefully. How can they help their customers buy their Apple products quickly? And obviously, normally you'd normally pay with cash, but you know nowadays who's using cash? In their case, they're using credit cards to pay those products, and making it even more easier is what's interesting here. So they're encouraging you to buy your products now and pay later. Now that's a misnomer here because it's a trap of sorts, so that you think that you don't have to pay your purchase item right now, but you forget that later on you're supposed to pay for it. The question here every responsible citizen should be thinking is, can you afford it? Not just because you can pay it later, is do you keep on buying items that you don't need, or items that you can't afford to buy? And this has a stink of marketing strategy that obviously, if you are able to pay your bills on time, just like your credit card bills, then you're okay. But the problem here is, the trap here is, if you don't pay it within the time frame, you'll be charged a substantial interest fee, which obviously why Goldman Sachs is interested to partner with Apple here. And obviously, to make it easier for Apple consumers, the Apple Pay Later will be available obviously in all Apple devices and via the Wallet app, which is owned by Apple here, the App Store here. So obviously it makes sense for a business standpoint, if you're Apple here, to integrate fully from the customer experience, buying the item, to purchasing it and paying it using the app, and even the payment scheme here. And obviously, in this one, they mentioned that you are given two options here. Let's see here, where was it? There you go. So you're given two options here. What was it? Yeah, here. So the first option mentioned is the Apple Pay in 4, meaning you pay in 4 interest-free payments. So the catch here is you only pay for it in 4 interest-free payments. Now, if you don't pay it within the time frame, guess how much are they going to charge for that one? So be aware of that. And you made the payments every 2 weeks. So I don't know if that's interesting. So technically, I'd rather pay. So it's 2 months. So it's like paying it 3 month interest, a 3 month installment payment scheme. Then they have another one. The second is the Apple Pay monthly installments, which splits the payments over several months with interest, and could last up to 24 months, to say the least. Now, obviously, that's not anything new in terms of charging their consumer. Actually, credit cards have been doing that for several years already, wherein they would, I think BDO offers that, pay now, buy now, pay later. I used to have BDO card before. You don't have to pay, I think, first 2 months before it would reflect in your credit card billings, and then they charge you for the next 3 months, I think, or 6 months. So it would look like you're paying 6 months interest, but technically you're only paying for the next 4 months or so. So obviously that's enticing if you're a consumer than thinking of when to pay the purchase item here. But again, the trap here is, if you're not responsible, if you think you can't afford it and you bought it with your card, the interest will pile up pretty quickly. And I've heard from stories, I know from someone who had this terrible experience where their interest, is went external ex exorbitantly high amount higher than the upfront purchase from the item that they bought in the first place here. So is it make sense for consumers to apply this? Well, if you're responsible enough, then it would make sense. I think obviously technology is always better if you know how to use it properly, and obviously to make it more easier, smoother in terms of rather than using your card going to the store, you can now use your mobile phone to just click away and then buy the item and then be delivered to your homes now. So again, word of caution: be careful. And what's interesting, Goldman Sachs and Apple's partnership has already begun way back in 2019 with the Apple credit card, if you remember. So now they're integrating the whole ecosystem, right? From buying the item to actually using the payment system, and now using the intermediary, the financial institutions, in this case, using Goldman Sachs as the go-between here. So obviously, they want you to buy your products where they charge a large amount, so they generate a lot of a lot of revenue. Then you use the app for paying it again with an additional fee using your credit card, Apple credit card. Again, they have another cut here. So you just notice in those three instances, three channels, Apple gets a cut in all of those. And obviously, kudos for them for thinking like that. Question is, how secure is it? Obviously, they've been promoting the how secure their platform is. But again, caution is to all users who are using it: be responsible in your purchases. Don't overdo it if you don't have the resources to pay for it later on. And what's interesting, Apple Card holders can already make their payments over time, as mentioned. So it's not just in a few months' time. If you buy a very expensive iPhone, you can pay it for 24 months. So that's 2 years of payment. Typically, this is incorporated in lines if you are subscribed to a telecoms, whether Globe Smart or Verizon or T-Mobile in the United States here. And obviously, what their goal here for Apple anyway is to make sure that you use all of their services here. Now, if it makes sense for you, makes it more convenient, then go for it. No harm there.